Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Butterfly Spirit 314. So I'm going to expand on the short that I just made about the superfood Zoom meeting that I participated in today. So I really enjoyed the event. The lady who I was learning from, I believe she was someone who was dealing with chronic pain, and she's had it for quite a long time. And so to deal with it, what she was doing was she wanted to educate people so that she can help people to not experience as much chronic pain as she has been experiencing over the years. I know someone who happens to have chronic pain, and it's not fun to experience chronic pain. It's no fun to have any type of disease or debility, okay? It's not fair to have that. But there are people out here who are dealing with different types of health conditions. And what I wanted to say is that I want to say to you guys that I have a lot of respect for you guys who are dealing with different types of health conditions, debilities, and ailments. Okay. And in the Zoom meeting that I was in, you know, the lady was just there to try and pass along knowledge. And she passed along a lot of knowledge. And there were some trolls who showed up during the Zoom meeting. And it really just made me upset that these trolls, these were some white boys. They were in their teenage years, probably about 13 years old and maybe 16 years old, who just jumped in on this lady's meeting and stuff, and they didn't have any respect for her. Okay. And what I have to say is that there are some good things that came out of those trolls disrupting that meeting. Number one thing it told me is that, number one, the lady was providing such good information that trolls felt like they had to jump in. Okay. Another thing was the lady told me, she was like, well, when it comes to, Eventbrite events where someone is speaking about health and wellness. I'm sorry. Let me repeat myself. So when it comes to Eventbrite events where people are speaking about health and wellness, then you have trolls who will try to stop these organizers or hosts from, giving out information on people being healthier, okay? Through, diet tips and nutrition and food and weight loss and different things like that, okay? So, and I'm sorry I've had to repeat myself. This guy rolled by with this really loud truck, okay? So, what I wanted to say is that I'm proud of that lady for organizing that event. In fact, I signed up for another event that she's going to be having. So I'm going to be doing some videos on some of the things that I learned from her Zoom meeting today and things. Although I was angry about those trolls coming on there, in the future, I want to do some Zoom meetings. And because of what those trolls did, then, what I decided to do was I decided that I'll be doing Zoom meetings. And I will make sure that if anybody's in my Zoom meeting, I'm not going to tolerate any of that kind of stuff. So I will have control of that Zoom meeting to the point where nobody's going to be able to come in there and disrupt the place. Okay. And so, that's helped me to learn something. So, them trying to ruin something, I'm benefiting from that. All right. So also the lady's benefiting from it because, although it was a disruption, right? The guys were eventually kicked out and stuff like that. And one of the things that is probably going to happen to these guys at some point, because they thought it was appropriate to, say rude and lewd things to the host who experiences chronic pain, right? What I think is that in the future, those teenage boys who jumped in as trolls, in the future, something could happen to them where they end up sick and they have chronic pain. And guess what? They're going to be looking for that lady who is providing information about the chronic pain and stuff and things you can do naturally to reduce any kind of chronic pain you have. They're going to be looking for her. But guess what? That lady may not even want to talk to them, or she may not be available for them at all because she's going to remember what they did. It's very important to understand this very important point. Don't treat people badly. The reason you don't do that is because stuff always comes back around. I've seen this in my personal life with people I know where they treated people badly and then it came back around on them. Okay, so with the situation with these boys and doing that, right? I have a couple theories about why I think they jumped in and tried to disrupt her Zoom meeting. But you know what? I'm going to be joining her next Zoom meeting. So number one, take that, trolls. The second thing is that the trolls were stupid enough to show their faces. So guess what? If they're applying for jobs and stuff like that, right? Because they use their actual first and last names and stuff. How do they know that, jobs won't see that? Jobs will see that stuff. And then the kids will wonder why they ain't getting hired. All right. This is a world that we live in that is becoming more and more digital. Okay. It's becoming a place where a lot of things that we do online is being monitored. But in situations like what those two boys did, I don't care if they were teenage boys or not. What they should have did is been respectful to that lady. They should have been respectful to the people who were attendees. But they weren't respectful. So I'm pretty sure things are going to come back on them at some point. Either they're going to get sick, because these boys were healthy teenage boys, but I'm going to tell you what, it's going to come back on them one day. It's going to come back on them. Either it's going to come back on them, or it's going to come back and hurt somebody they know. It can hurt their mom, dad, whoever. Something is probably, that bad karma that they just put out there in that universe, it's going to come back on them. And it might most likely come back on them. Okay? So this is why, I live by the mentality. Don't do things to people. Don't do things to people that you'll regret, because it can come back on you. Now, with respect to the Zoom meeting, a little bit more about it is I learned a lot of information, and I'm really happy to continue to follow the lady and participate in her other events, because actually she happens to talk a lot about herbal medicine. So I'm looking forward to being involved with her other events and stuff like that. And one of the things I'm proud of myself for doing, I'm proud of myself for standing up for the lady. And I came on the Zoom call and I told the lady, I said, I appreciate what you're sharing. I appreciate the information you're providing, and I'd love to be a part of your other classes. And she even had an apprenticeship program. I'd love to be a part of that. Those trolls are not going to stop this lady's progress towards helping people, because there is a reason that I ended up coming across that lady's event. I know it is. All right. And learning from that lady, she's taking a lot of classes that I want to take. So she's definitely taken a lot of, she's been in a lot of classes, learned a lot of things that I want to learn. And I know that eventually I know that I will learn a lot, especially from her and other people I come across. So it wasn't all a total loss. All right. There was good things, a lot of good information. Learned about some superfoods that I didn't know about. I learned about, where the term superfood even came from. I learned about the fact that there's different type of kales, which I had no idea about. And I learned about a recipe that I can use in order to, strengthen my body's natural balance and immunity. So I'm happy for that too. So there's a lot of good things that came out of this. A lot of good things. The trolls didn't win overall. All right. Thanks for watching.